Well, joining me now is Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. Senator, good to have you with us on Newsmax. And let's just get right to it. Who do you like? Who's going to get your vote next week?
Well, politics at its best, Todd. It is rampant. First of all, congratulations to President Trump and J.D. Vance. We got the Senate. Looks like we're going to get the House. We got a great opportunity to do something for the American people here. I hope we don't spend a lot of time on this leadership nonsense. It really doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you, because we are going to follow President Trump. And if we don't, the American people ought to run us out of Washington, D.C., because they voted President Trump in and J.D. Vance. I think J.D. Vance is going to have a lot of say-so in the Senate because obviously he was a senator. He knows all of us. He knows the rhinos. He knows the conservative groups. John Thune probably has the edge in the rhinos voting for him. John Cornyn is going to be right behind him. Rick Scott is more the conservative. I don't think you read a lot in this, Todd. At the end of the day, they're going to give speeches to us on Tuesday night. We'll vote on Wednesday. But I'll tell you one thing, this is President Trump and J.D. Vance's Senate, and we better go by it because this country's in trouble. And if we don't make some quick decisions early and get everybody on board, the Democrats will take over in the next 2 years, and we'll never have another chance. So leadership, fine, we'll vote for whoever, but President Trump is my leader.
No, well, I understand that, Senator, but you know that leadership is important, and we've learned how much damage somebody like a Mitch McConnell can do. So based on the three names you just mentioned there, who do you like? Who do you think is best capable of delivering the president's agenda?
Well, if you look at all three of them, and I talked to all three, after President Trump won the nomination, wasn't a lot of support for President Trump out of the Republican Party in the Senate. Nobody thought he could win. I was the first senator to come out for him, been with him ever since. But I told all three of them, listen, I'm not going to vote for anybody that doesn't go to Mar-a-Lago, sit down with President Trump before the election, sell yourself, and tell the American people and President Trump, when time comes, of what you're going to do. So all of them have been down there talking to President Trump. I don't know whether he has a favorite. He hasn't told me. I haven't talked to him. I think Rick Scott right now, being more conservative than the other two, I'd be leaning for him. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know who can get the votes. But at the end of the day, leadership is a position that all they do is they're the face of the party, but they had the same vote that I have. And I'll tell you one thing, I am voting for President Trump.
Senator, there have been calls already for Republicans to play nice, to reach across the aisle. Do you think that's a good idea? Because you guys have a pretty darn clear mandate here.
Yeah, they've been talking about unity. I just saw some on Fox News a little earlier today. Some of the Democrats said, President Trump needs to unify the country. Let me tell you something. The Democrats can't spell unity. What they can spell is socialism, communism, open borders, more crime, and globalism. We don't want any of that. If you want to be in the United States of America, go by the Constitution, believe in our country, go by our laws. That's what unity we need to bring to. And those that get on board with that are going to build this country stronger than it's ever been built. But that's the only way we can do it. President Trump can't just walk into this soft-hearted and say, okay, we talk bad about each other, now we're going to get along. He needs and will have the upper hand, and he's going to swing a big stick, and we're going to take the Congress, and we're going to send bills to President Trump that's going to help the American people and get us out of this mess we're in. We're swimming upstream. I don't know whether President Trump can do it. I don't know whether anybody can do it because the Democrats have put us in such a disastrous mode right now. It is going to be very hard, but he's going to put a great team together, and I'm going to work very hard to help him for the people of Alabama and the people of this country.
Now, Senator, one of my radio listeners in Alabama sent me a video, and I thought you would be very proud to hear this news. Just moments after Trump won, you had hundreds, if not several thousand, Auburn University students coming out to Toomer's Corner, and they were singing the national anthem and celebrating. What does it say about the numbers of Generation Z voters who actually decided to cast their ballots for Republicans this year?
Well, it was awesome. And I was real worried about that. But there's campuses all over the country that came out and voted for President Trump. They might be Democrats, but these kids are smart enough to see the future. And I told a lot of them as I went from coast to coast, listen, don't vote against your future. If you vote Democrats, you're going to vote for what you're getting right now, and even worse, and you're voting yourself out of freedom and freedom of speech and an opportunity is what this country gives you to make whatever you want to make in life. I think we had a lot of these kids come out and really was smarter than some of the older people in our country saying, you know, I want a better life. And what I'm getting right now is not something that I want to be a part of. And they voted for Donald Trump to be president of the United States. And I think he's going to have a huge following for the next 4 years.
See, I'm with you. And don't you think, though, that, I mean, these are kids who had a front row seat to all of this woke, critical race theory, pronoun confusion. They had a front row seat to all of this nonsense. And I'm wondering if they just said, you know what, we've had it here.
Yeah. And again, 95%, Todd, of the professors across this country in 4 universities, 95% are liberal Democrats. And they're teaching this DEI, the woke agenda. I just hope that these young people across the country can see through this nonsense. And I think Donald Trump winning and what he's getting ready to do to our country to get it back on track, they're going to jump on board and be a big part of it. But it's going to take this generation X and Z to make a difference in our country. They're going to have to get on board. Yeah. But again, this has been a disaster since I've been in the Senate for the last 4 years. We've got Republicans that need to get on board as well as Democrats. But we've got to get behind Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and turn this country around and get it back to a constitutional republic like it should be.
Yes, we do. And Senator, we certainly appreciate you coming on Newsmax tonight. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Todd. God bless.